So first of all, you guys need to log into your construct, and then when you've done that, your picture should be up there, and I want you to click or hover here, and then click on Launch Construct 3. When you do that, you'll get a pig on a rocket, and then after that, you'll get a welcome screen. On this welcome screen, you've got tutorials and the manual and things like that, and a showcase where you can look at what's been made before. And this is where you save and open your own game. New project is obviously a new project. We're going to do that in a second to make a new file. But after that, I recommend you save it in cloud. Definitely don't do browser. That's a bit risky. File is to save it to your own hard disk if you want to. But if you save it in cloud, you can share it with me and other people so we can check it and play it and give you feedback. So for now, click on New Project. Call it something. And then what you guys need to do is choose how big this your window is going to be, or how big this game is going to be, like the screen size. So it can be like a 720p. That's basically how many pixels up the side there. 1080p is like your standard TV. Or if you want to go 4K, go 4K. I wouldn't for this one. Actually, for this one, I wouldn't worry about this, but I would type in the size here that I've got, just for this tester, 1000 by 1000. This will be a game that doesn't like have multiple screens or big world you can walk around, but the whole thing will take place on just one screen. This is like the window size. Landscape doesn't matter so much. And optimize for pixel art. Create. Boom. And your head's going to explode. You're going to think, oh my gosh, what is all this stuff? I quit. But don't quit. It's okay. I promise. You won't need to know, like most of the stuff that's in Construct. It's pretty a cool bit of software. There's a lot you can do. We're not asked to do anything at like the level that a lot of people are working at. Professional people use this. We're doing something simple, so don't panic. We won't need a lot of this. Now, on the right-hand side, you'll see this window here. That's where we keep all our imported stuff. So our sounds and our characters and our levels and graphics and all that stuff. That's where we keep that here. Down the bottom here, we have layers and tiles. Layers especially is important. That's where we're going to have, we can keep our levels in layers to keep it all organized, just like Photoshop. On the left-hand side, we have properties. So, for example, if we click on Layout 1, which is our level, you can choose how big your game is. Now, you'll see, actually, we set our screen with 1000 by 1000. I don't know if you can see it. There's a little line there. That's showing you what will be in the screen when the game starts. If you want to go here and here and here, you'll have to like leave the screen and the camera will follow you and you'll go around. I'm just going to change this to be 1000 by 1000. And that way, everything is just inside this one screen all the time. Just keep it easy. Okay, now here's what you need to know. This place is, this part over here is where you keep all of your objects, but there are two things which you won't have heard before, which are kind of, I guess, a new concept. The first one is layouts. Layouts is your level as it looks. So if I click on layout 1, you can see it, right? There's nothing in there yet, but when we put our characters in there and our backgrounds in there and our like platforms in there, you'll be able to see it. This is where you can organize all your stuff, like so it would look at the beginning when your game starts, but nothing's moving, nothing's doing anything. It's all just where it needs to be. Event sheet, if I click on here, and they're actually up on the tabs here, look, if you double click on here, they'll appear here, is where we're going to put all our code. But we're not worrying about that in this workshop. We'll do that in the next one. So I'm actually going to get rid of that event sheet. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is organize our layers. I want you guys to go down here and I want you to add 2 more layers. The one at the bottom, I want you to rename that one BG for background. The next one, I want you to rename that and call it tiles. And the next one, I want you to rename that sprites. This will make sense in a second, but basically the background is just going to be a color. That's all that's going to be on there. Tiles is where we're going to actually have the platforms of your stage that you walk around, the walls and stuff. And sprites is where we put all your characters. So what I want you to do first of all is click on sprites, and I want you to make sure transparent is clicked. Go to tiles, make sure transparent is clicked, and then go to background and make sure transparent is not clicked, and then you can change the color of your background. Let's just make it gray. Okay. If one of these other layers actually isn't transparent, it'll just be white. You won't be able to see your background color. Cool, background is done. Lock it. Boom. Not going to worry about that again for now. The next thing we're going to do up here, where it says like sounds and music and videos in this project tab, is we're going to add some characters in. So I'm just going to lock tiles as well, just to make sure we're not on there, and go to sprites. So I want you to click on object types. Right click it or control click it if you haven't got a mouse, and go to add new object type. And you'll see there's lots of things in here, like mouse, gamepad, text, lots of things. We're going to add in sprite. And you'll see now my cursor has changed to a little cross. I was going to click right in the middle of the stage. Boom. And we're going to bring something in. Now you can draw straight into Construct if you want to. Or I tend to work in Piskel because it's we're a bit more familiar with that because I know we've used that in the past. So let's say you've been working in Piskel or whatnot and you want to bring in your sprite. I've shared with you a folder, so I want to use mine for now. Click on the little folder there. Just one more time. Look. Find the folder I've shared with you called Training Dungeon, and I want you to select Night 0 and Night 1. Click Open, and you'll see those two little frames popped up down the bottom. Let's see how it looks when it's animated. If I click play, nothing happened. Well, actually, it kind of did, but it just played one frame and stopped. We need to loop that animation. So we're going to go down to loop. And now if I try, press play, here, look. They run. If I want it to be a little bit quicker, here we go. Yeah, that'll do. Cool. And the last thing we need to do now our character's imported, is set the hitbox. Hitbox is the area that the game knows, or the game decides, well, you decide, but the game will understand is the area that is solid and can be touched. So if I click on this little thing down here, look, you'll see there's like a weird mesh. So Construct's just tried to work it out by itself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just move this around to the area that I want to be solid. I don't want his sword to be solid and touched because I don't want him to die if like someone touches his sword. And I'm going to move this down. There we go, just to kind of keep him solid. On this one. There we go. And you can see like each frame might be different. So you would want it to be different so it matches the body types. The only important thing here really is that the bottom line here is the same height. Excuse me. The reason for that is that if it's not, and like on one frame it's higher than the other, every time it switches a frame, your character will, in theory, be like in the air, because like suddenly it will be higher, right? Because there's a big gap here, and you won't be able to jump if that happens for that frame. So just make sure this is 235. This one is 235. Just gonna click on this one here. 235 and 235. Okay, cool, done. Here you can add other animations. So if you want to add another animation, like a dying animation or a win animation, you can do that too. Won't worry about that now though. Close up, and your character's there. And you can scale if you want to. Hold down Shift if you don't want it to go like the ratio to be default. Hold down Shift and it'll stay in the same ratio. We'll just do one more really quick just to practice that again. Right click, add new object type, go down to sprite, click over here, and I'm going to click on the folder. And this type is going to be Goblin 0, Goblin 1. Those are the two Goblin frames I have. Open. You can see we have like mad hitbox going on there. So you can fix that if you want to. I won't fix that just now, just for time. We'll just leave it as is because we're not going to worry for this workshop. Okay, now you have your Goblin. Cool, done. So you bring in all the things there. If you delete this one, you can just drag them back on from over there, and you can drag in multiple instances of these things too. There we go. Click. Bearing in mind though, actually, over here, if you have just like one type of goblin, you can only make this do the same thing. So if you want a kind of goblin that moves left and right, but another one that moves up and down, you'd need to add two here and call them different names, like goblin left, right, and goblin up, down. And then you can give them different instructions. Because when I give this some code, anything that's called sprite 2 will do the same thing. So you need kind of like a different object for every different behavior that you want it to do. Okay, and now I'm going to lock that sprite layer and open up tiles. And we're going to add our tiles. Tiles are basically what we're going to use to build our game. It's kind of like a big box of Lego blocks that you can choose from. And if I click on right object types, control click, or right click, add new object, and you want to go down to tile map, not tile background, tile map. Okay, and if I just click somewhere on here, you'll see there's one already on there that comes like as an example. This is what you'd use to build like a farm or an RPG. We've got our own, so if you click on the folder, click on Dungeon Tiles. Cool, and you'll see that there. Close up, and you'll see now that there's like a blue window here. This is actually your tile map. It's like an area where your tiles can go. You can actually move it around. So what this means is when you built your level, you can actually move the whole thing around. Or actually even like copy it. So you just do one section and copy, copy, copy. That makes no sense right now, I know, but it will in a second. Okay, so to build this, what we're going to do is go up to Layout 1. This is our layer, our level. Click on Show Grid. That'll help you out a little bit. And also, I'm just going to zoom in. And also maybe Snap to Grid. That will help things like, will make your blocks kind of click and snap so they're all lined up nicely. What I'm going to do now is I'm on Layout 1. I'm on the tiles layer here. I'm going to go to where it says Tile Map down the bottom right. Down here, look. Okay, and click on this one. So click on Tile Map there, and you'll see your map appears. Now what I can do is this. I can go to my pencil, select, click some tiles, and I can go click, 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 click. Cool. I can select then some more tiles. Let's say I want to do the wall going up the side. I'm going to select these ones. I can click that there, click. And there should be another one on the other side. This one will go like click. And then the wall, on the left hand side, click. There we go. And let's do this one. Boom. Okay, and let's finish this up. We should have this one here, and finally just that left wall. Oh no. Command Z works here if it all goes wrong. Boom, check it out. That is a layout. And what you can do now, if I click Tile Map, you can see I can actually move that around. And if I delete it, you can bring it back. Boom. If you can do that, you can build your stage. And what I'm going to do is if I go back down to layers and lock that one, you can see now that sprites are here, tiles are here, background's there. Everything is like on its separate layer, so you can deal with things a little bit easier. Cool. And let's just say you wanted to expand that layer, that level out. I'll just do that before we finish. If I go to layout 1 up here, and it's 1,000 by 1,000, I'll just zoom out a little bit. Let's say I want to make a bigger level. I'm just going to go now to this. Let's say I wanted to make it just like long, like a long level. I could type in, change that to 9,000, and now it's like a dungeon that goes all the way down. If I wanted it to be bigger, I could go 9,000 by 9,000. Cool. But of course, what will show on your screen will just be that 1,000, 1,000 that we selected at the beginning. So, cool. That's how you make a stage. If you can do that, you're ready to start coding. Now save that just to keep it. But then what I want you to do now is I want you to flip over to the file that I shared with you. That's the one we're going to use to practice our coding. Nice work, guys. See you in a minute.